else had screwed up an amazing relationship. I couldn't pretend anymore that this whole twisted drama wasn't tearing my heart out piece by piece. It wasn't like I had never screwed up anything before. Let's be honest, I had failed a zillion times before this. But I had always thought of failure as simply that idea of being not yet successful. I'd always assumed success was inevitable, and it kind of was. But this time it was different. It was personal. This one felt final. And it was maddening, because I couldn't change the situation by myself. I had always been able to solve any situation or problem or challenge by outworking everyone else with raw, superhuman, highly focused passion. That's still my super secret weapon sometimes. But this was out of my control. I couldn't make her be faithful to me or love me, and the pain was unimaginable. That's probably not how it looked from the outside, though. See, I didn't want to lose her, but not really for the right reasons. I never wanted to lose anything, for any reason, ever. And so I changed my ways for a few months, just long enough to show that I was the honorable person in the family. I went through the motions. I spent more time with her. I took her out to expensive restaurants and on fancy shopping trips. And I expected my 3 months of Boy Scout behavior to earn me instantaneous love and respect. And of course, I told her as much. Isn't it crazy how stupid you are when you're young? As I read this, I just think, gosh, how screwed up I was. I was just lost. And of course, that drove her even further away. So I reverted to the only thing I had ever been really good at: extreme behavior. I worked longer, I swore louder, I trained harder. I spent every waking moment trying to escape from the pain. Day after day, I shut the door to my office and I cried at my desk. True story. My assistant would gently knock on the door and remind me that I had meetings. I would clean myself up, adjust my tie, and go put together amazing business deals. But inside, I was becoming unhinged. I was an emotional wreck. And that just meant I needed to push myself even harder. So I did. I pushed myself to exhaustion and beyond. At one point, I lost 20 pounds in just a few days. Through all the relentless training at the gym, I caught a staph infection. But initially, no one was able to diagnose it. For 4 days, I lay in the emergency room at the hospital. They brought in an infectious disease specialist and checked my blood for AIDS and other autoimmune diseases. By the way, if you ever want to get freaked out by something, have people say, "We don't know what's wrong with you. It could be AIDS, we're going to check on it, but your body is killing itself and we don't know how to stop it." That will freak you out. But I was all clear. They couldn't figure out what was wrong. Their only option was to try different antibiotics. When one didn't work, they tried another and another and then another. Eventually, I began to recover. I actually think, if I remember correctly, it was on 26 different antibiotics before they found one that would tackle this disease that was ravaging my body. Basically, what I think happened, and of course the doctors, this is just an amateur's opinion, is that my immune system was so broken down and beaten, emotionally, physically, that my body was just trying to give me a huge wake-up call that I needed to pay attention. But my body was broken. I was weak and out of shape. Everything I had worked for, specifically for MMA, was gone. And that just added to my torment. I'd always been able to count on myself to perform. No matter how insurmountable the challenge, I'd always pushed myself hard enough to overcome it. But for the first time in my life, I wasn't physically able to perform. It was bad enough that I had let my family down. Now I had let myself down. The only friend I had left, myself, had deserted me. And it was hauntingly lonely. My sense of failure in that moment completely engulfed me. The wild thoughts in my head became all-consuming. This time, I was beaten. It was time to end the game. The staph infection had almost killed me. Now I wanted to do it myself. And that is how I came to be standing or sitting in the middle of my garage, outrageously drunk, with a glass of whiskey in one hand and a gun in the other. As the tears began to roll down my face, my sadness turned into sobs. It was a sweeping sadness, so deeply painful that I knew I wanted to die. There was no other escape. I wanted out. Blinking away the tears, I grabbed a box of bullets. In a twisted, overachiever kind of way, after all, one alone would do the job, I shoved bullet after bullet into the clip of my Browning .22 pistol until it was full. I took another gulp of whiskey and staggered to the back steps of the garage. Sitting down, I set the glass a little too forcefully on the step beside me, but it didn't break. For just a few seconds, that observation took my mind off my overwhelming sadness.